We have defensive coordinator Lance Guidry who will illustrate the questions to Coach Guidry.
So on the play where you got the flag, talk us through that, what happened there?
Well, earlier in the game, the official came from the offensive side to stop, went over the center and stopped it. Usually that's where it comes from. So we was trying to change personnels. I was trying to get out of nickel and go into base defense because they changed personnel. So they're supposed to stand over the ball and give us time. I never saw the official was behind our defense, was on our side of the ball. They didn't come from the other side. So I ran on the field, called him timeout, and then I think I got dinged because I took my headset off. I was angry, so that was on me. I shouldn't have done that, but I didn't see him. I looked back on film, and he was there. So they were right. I was wrong. Apologize.
Lance, that frustration probably came from the struggles when they switched, kind of changed gears on you and started going through that turbo hurry up.
Yeah.
What was going on just in terms of getting the plays in and the players?
We got the plays in. They was going fast, and they was taking an opportunity to run the football. And we were starting to get a little bit tired is what happened. When we started getting tired, we started coming out of gaps. We started missing tackles and things like that, and it led to some big plays. And, yeah, they did a good job of really, after a couple of turnovers, really going fast on us. We held one time after one, and the other one we gave up a big 3rd and 20, you know, on that dagger route, which we'd worked it all week. They did a good job of changing up their formation because their formation, they were inverted, but they were a little tighter. And we worked it all week with them being tighter where it was spread out a little bit more. So it didn't really get the attention of our players. And he came about 20-yard dig route, 14-yard dig route and scored. So it happens. I thought in the first half we did a good job of hitting him, you know. There's a good job by them by going fast so that we couldn't have multiple calls. And we couldn't get to him like we did the first half. But we still hit him pretty good, and he's a good player. He's a good football team, really good wideouts. We knew that going in, and, you know, got to tip your hat to them.
You talked about all season, what you show on film will essentially come back, or, you know, things like that. With that tempo, just how do you prep for that in case other teams see that and want to use it later on in the year?
You do the same. People are going to try to tempo you. Of course, if you stop first and second down and they get off the field in 3 downs and they haven't used up a lot of clock, then you discourage them. So as long as they have a little bit of success, they'll keep doing it to you. You know, at times we did stop them, but we didn't stop them enough. And I think we ran out of numbers a little bit at the end, especially with Najalik going down in the game. And we just got a little thin. So, yeah, we'll work on it this week. We'll work on more tempo periods and go against, you know, our offense. And we do it every week, but we only go 4 plays. We don't do like multiple plays. So we'll have to do that this week with our scouts because we'll get it again.
Lance, obviously, O'Marion Hampton from UNC got you guys pretty good on Saturday, got about 200 yards, and Clemson has some really solid running backs as well. How are you working on improving the run defense this week?
Well, we got tired, and if you looked at it, we busted a couple gaps, and then we just missed tackles. And missed tackles, we knew they is 220-pound running backs, and once they started tempo on us and we didn't get off the field like we needed to, it kind of took over. And it kind of took over because now arm tackles don't get big backs down. So you got to make sure you fit the gaps. So this week will be the same thing. They'll try to do what, you know, North Carolina did. They've had 2 weeks to prepare for us. So we got to do a good job of changing up some things so that for 2 weeks what they've been working on, they may not see. So.
And then just also about Clemson's offense, just what have you seen on film from Kid Klubnik and their passing game?
Quarterback's good. He's fast. He may be the fastest quarterback we've played. So that catches your attention. The running backs are really good. One of them's a big physical back. The other is coming out of the backfield and doing different things. Receivers are a solid crew. Offensive line is better than they were last year. So another good offense. We'll have to get off to a good start and just play complementary football.
Was that tempo about as fast as you've seen?
No. Going against a lot faster than that. A lot of teams that are in a lot of 10 and empty personnels will go real fast, and they do it all the time. And we kind of knew after first downs that they would do it, and we did. But once they started going, they just kept on. I think when they were around midfield and they did get the ball back on some short fields, they really took advantage of it, you know, and went at us. So they were smart in what they did, and then they got an experienced quarterback, so it fit what they were doing. And you got to tip your hat to them. They did a good job, especially in the third quarter.
When your team plays fast, the way you guys play and exciting up front like that, is it sometimes difficult to drop back in the zone? A challenge to drop back in the zone?
You meaning who?
Your defense. When your defense plays fast and blitz.
Yeah, because play action to get you, so, in man-to-man, it's a lot easier because people go out for passes, you cover them, but in zone, if they give you a lot of it, especially RPO today, so, they'll give you a run look with the offensive linemen, but they're running routes downfield, and you mix that with tempo, and that's very difficult. So your defensive backs have to play it like it's pass because they can't read linemen. Like back when we played, offensive lineman gave you a high hat or he gave you a low hat. If he gave you a low hat, it was a run. If he popped up, it was automatic pass. But today, linemen are going downfield and they're getting the ball out before they're across that, that little area right there, and it's still a playable thing. So it's tougher today, but it's part of it. I mean, these kids are used to going against it, and biggest thing is winning first down like always. We got to make it second and long, and when we did have success, that's what we did.
Is there a common thread when the coverage issues happen, or are they separate issues?
Kind of separate, kind of individually sometime. The first play that they really made was off a scramble with the quarterback, and the guy broke downfield. The big long ball, I thought Tutu was in a good spot. I think he could have made the play. I think he mistimed his jump a little bit. I thought he thought the ball was going to be a little bit shorter. We were in quarters, and they ran a bend with a post, kind of grabbed the feet of Cam, which made him come down and left the post behind him. We knew that was the type of throws they liked. And I thought Tutu was inside of it enough, and, of course, the big wide receiver can run. But he had a chance to make that play. He just kind of misjudged it, So they're good. They were undefeated before we played them. They were undefeated without the big guy, and you add him, it makes it more difficult. But I really thought if we hit the quarterback, we could affect them, and we did early on. Especially, one time he came through and he went and slid, and he don't slide a lot. So I knew that the hit that Cam and hit him, it got him a little bit, and it kind of rattled him. But then in the second half, when they got some short fields and they tempoed, it kind of got back his momentum, and he became the guy he's always been. So, good player.
You kind of touched on it just now, but it seemed like kind of throughout the year, you guys been getting a lot of pressure, but not actually getting to the quarterback and completing the play and getting a sack. 5 sacks was season high on Saturday. Is there anything you noticed that was different about, just getting home, or just like law averages kind of thing,
We brought more against A&M. I think this guy's a little bit more prototypical, the guy that we played, so he would hang in there a little longer. And we got a little bit more exotic on some third down, the one that came through the pipes. So, I don't know. I mean, I thought against A&M you couldn't bring better pressure than we did. It's just he kept throwing it away and kept running, So athletic quarterbacks can buy time. And if they get out the pocket, they can throw it anywhere they want. It's not grounding. So, no, there's really no rhyme or reason. I do think Bang converted run to pass. We got a sack in the end zone, had a chance right there, and they got the ball and came out of it for 4 yards. So, happens like that.
That wide receiver, Dev Walker, did you guys think he would be that effective in his second game back, or something you had to gauge once the game started?
We thought he was good, like he showed. But, the quarterback's a system guy, so he's not going to look at one guy. What he kind of sees and what you give him, he's going to go through his read. So if he starts to the field and he sees quarters, he knows about where he's going to throw the ball, no matter who's there. And so, like, if you push coverage to one guy, which they was undefeated without him, so it's like, okay, the other guys can play too, and then they were running the football, you kind of in a pinch. You got to kind of play it straight up, We thought on third down we could maybe move the coverage a little bit to him, but on first or second down, there's no way you can stop the run and do all those things and try to bracket a guy. But, yeah, he was good. We made him a little bit better than he was, though, I thought. He ran a dig route, and we expanded out of it. If we were in coverage, we'd have been there. And if Tutu chimes his jump, it might be totally something different. If we'd have kept him in the pocket, maybe a little bit more. So, it is what it is. I'm sure going forward, the more plays he makes, the quarterback may get a little comfortable with getting him the ball a lot, and there might be a little bit more tendencies of going to him on certain plays, certain downs. But we didn't have that opportunity, of course.
Anything else for Coach Guidry?
What's the biggest thing you've learned about Kiko with the sack that he got on Saturday night and, doing on the road in the ACC? It's a different scene from where he was at Washington State, sure.
Yeah, I wish he would have knocked the ball out because he had a chance to sack and strip him right there, I thought Kiko played good. We had a bunch of guys that played well. And then we had some other guys that kind of got a little frustrated, along with the coaches. You know, it's a part of it. And we'll go back to work this week, excited that we got another week to prove ourselves. That's a good thing about football. Every Saturday, you got another chance to kind of redeem yourself. So I'm excited to get started on this week. A win cures everything.
The Cam Kitchen blitz, can you explain the origin of it? Like when you started using it? Like what exactly is it?
The blitz through the middle? We used to call it flash back in the old day, and we'd put it in, and it was a straight out blitz, playing straight man. The other night we ran it, and we dropped the defensive ends and was really playing quarters on the back end of it. But first time I ran it was probably as a player at McNeese. We called it Colonel because we played the Nichols Colonels was the name of it. When I started coaching, we called it flash because it was the free safety. The other night, we called it Tor Heel, and it was either going to be James or Cam, depending if it was 2x2 or 3x1. If it was 3x1, James was going to come down the middle. Well, he was begging Cam on the play, let me go, and Cam said, it's my turn. I swear, they're talking about it on the bus, and I said, James, you know, if you'd have hit him, we might have knocked him out of the game. So I told Cam that. Cam said it was my turn. It was part of the scheme. So I've run it probably once or twice a year. You know, and I'll just pick my times to try to do it. And double A-gap blitzes, we get through there. They had the reason why I thought we could do it is because they're running back. They felt good about him blocking our backers. So I knew the center would slide one way, and I knew the backer would take, their back would take our other back, and they felt like they could block him. So really, we just made another hole for Cam. So when the center slid on one backer, it kind of got on the side of the quarterback, and the backer came, we went outside the blocker, and it created its own hole for Cam to come right through the middle. So the tackles, all they needed to do was retrace in case Cam missed him, and he didn't miss him. So it's a good question.
Last question.
Just James is playing well this first half of the season. Is he growing as a leader too because of that?
Yes and no, I think. You know, the other night he got a little frustrated. But I think he's playing well. He's physical. He showed the other night, I thought, that he could tackle like a linebacker. And that's what I think he is on the next level. I really think he's a linebacker. He's an outside backer and possibly a wheel. But, yeah, he's playing better and better. He's playing with confidence, you know, which is good. And we just need to grade better and kind of stick within the plan a little bit more back there. And just that was probably the biggest thing. We have probably more mental bust than we've had. But when people go fast on you, that's the first thing that goes is kind of your thinking. You know, you start trying to ad-lib and make plays instead of just executing the defense and everybody kind of being on the same page. And it happened a little bit the other night. It happened to me. So.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate y'all.